Welcome back. We started our adventure in Cameroon by exploring its mountain of greatness, and we learned that it's the fourth most prominent mountain peak in Africa. We visited a local farm to learn why Cameroon's star crop, white pinja pepper, thrives in this unique geographical location, and I learned how to cook 2 delicious 5-star French meals with it. And we delved into Cameroon's complicated history as a former colony of Germany, France, and England, as I explored the reunification monument that commemorates its independence. Our next adventure starts now. We head to Limbe to continue
Most of the things that we do, they can also do.
Mm-hmm.
For example, they use tools.
They use tools?
Tools, like stones. Sticks, stones to crack nut. Sticks.
Are they arguing?
To fight. No, they are
they
just
playing?
They are just like being together. Yes.
So it's like a family.
The dominant coming and the less dominant is shouting, thinking it's coming to attack, but eventually it's not coming to attack.
Next, we visited the gorilla station. I saw a silverback gorilla when I visited Rwanda in 2017, and Wilson explained to me how they're related, but not the same as the western lowland gorillas that are protected here.
We have 2 species of gorillas in the world. The western lowland gorilla, the one you can see here now.
Western lowland.
Western lowland.
Okay.
Its subspecies is the cross river gorilla. That one is found between Cameroon and Nigeria, and there are less than 300 remaining in the wild.
Last, Wilson taught me about the drill monkey, which is only found in 3 African countries: Cameroon, Nigeria, and Equatorial Guinea.
That's the drill monkey.
The drill monkey.
Yes, locally, here we call them Sumbu.
Sumbu.
Yes, Sumbu. Yeah.
So when do you decide to release an animal into the wild? What are those factors?
The factors is a lot of combination. You need to lobby to get finances, and when you get the finances, you need to do visibility studies to find out the area if it is convenient, and veterinary doctors need to also confirm you do the groundwork, and it should follow international standard. You are not just releasing because you want to release. You need to look for a site that is suitable for this animal and find out if there are some wild animals living around there. Are they the same species or there are different species of animal? Is this area good enough? Is it having fruit trees or rivers running across that it can provide water for this animal? Or how is it? So many things are taken into condition.
Appreciate you taking time to show me what you do and what you're passionate about. You know, wildlife is such a critical part of our society, of our world. People take it for granted, but it balances out the ecosystem.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I would really like to tell people that we are conserving Cameroon wildlife through education.
Yes.
If there's any way we have to support, please let us support this wildlife for us to protect them.
I really enjoyed my visit to the center, and I was inspired by their commitment to saving Cameroon's wildlife. More than a zoo, Limbe Wildlife Center is an important reminder of how we should all be protecting our endangered species. Next, we return to Yaoundé to connect with a street food entrepreneur, putting her own spin on a traditional Cameroon dish to promote her culture and nourish her community. Bouillon is a savory liquid broth made of water, meat, and vegetables that simmered for a short period of time. French settlers first introduced it to Cameroonians when they colonized the country. Now it's a traditional favorite dish in Cameroon. In Tatian Techigua, everybody calls it Techi, is known for hers. I first learned about Techi's bouillon from production team in Bwanji. He raved so much to me about how good it was that I had to try it. And Techi invited me to go shopping with her to buy ingredients at Marché Huitième, which translates to 8th Market in French. But don't be fooled by the name. This is Cameroon's busiest outdoor market, located in a northwest suburb of Yaoundé, about 3.5 miles from the Reunification Monument. And every day, throngs of people pour in to buy fresh grains, produce, and livestock meat from local farmers and herders. Outdoor markets like this are more common than supermarkets in West Africa. In fact, I went shopping at one in Ghana with Chef Kwame. But in Cameroon, it was like an American farmer's market on steroids. It also had rained the night before, So that made maneuvering around the mud in such a tight space very tricky.
It's a lot of people.
Yes, yes.
So you come here every week?
Yes, every it depends of the demand of my customer.
Okay.
Yes, when they like goat meat, so I came here to buy it.
And as we made our way through the crowd, I struggled to keep up with Techi. Everyone was moving in harmony, and Techi was so fast.
The gas is already there.
Okay.
So we take one goat.
One goat?
Yes.
Okay. Is it alive?
Yes.
Or is it already
alive? Yes.
It's alive?
Yes.
Oh, you gonna take a live goat?
Yes.
And you gonna cut it up?
Yes.
Oh, oh, that's interesting.
Did you see that laugh right there? I was nervous, and I was not prepared to see a goat get slaughtered. For just a moment, I felt out of place watching everyone who seemed to know exactly what they were doing. And me, I'm trying to figure out how we buy this goat.
What are you checking for? You see if it's tender? You just...
In America, our prices are fixed at the supermarket. But at open-air markets here, everything's up for negotiation.
How many goats are you gonna buy?
Yes, discuss the price.
One goat or two goats?
One.
One, okay.
Only one.
And how many people can you feed with one goat?
How many?
Yeah, how many meals can you make with one goat?
Maybe 40.
40, okay.
As they went back and forth on the price, I kept looking at the goat. Was this really about to happen? Lucky for me, Techi needed to buy some vegetables, so I didn't have to watch them prepare the goat for her. I was impressed by how Techi navigated the organized chaos of the ape market. Cameroon, like most countries in Africa, is still a male-controlled society. But women like Techi are changing the system like the women I met in Ghana and Senegal. I'll be catching back up with Techi a little later so we can complete the meal. But before I do that, I'm going to take a trip to learn more about Cameroon's past. Next, we visit a private museum in Yaoundé that is rescuing Cameroon's history. The Blackitude Museum was created in the year 2000 by Her Majesty, Queen Nana Agnès, to protect and preserve collections of art and objects from chiefdoms such as the Balimike tribe, a people located in the western grass-filled region of Cameroon. As I arrived at the museum, I was met by Christian Nana. He's been director of the museum for 10 years, and he's the chairperson of Blue Shield Cameroon, a nonprofit that protects cultural heritage threatened by armed conflicts and natural disasters.
What is the most interesting or the most valuable collection in the museum?
Let people go to the Kingdom Place. It's a secret place in the village. It's not an open space place. Because in the village we have what we call the secret place of the kingdom. It's the place where the king and only his staff going there to meet and to discuss and to take a resolution. It's not the place where we allow people to come every day. Yes.
Okay.
When we have a special guest like you, you invite to visit the place, or where we have the young student, the children from the primary school, we let them to see and to be connected with this environment.
This room is important because you can know your history and appreciate where you came from, and then have the value and see the reverence that the people that came before us, the ancestors, put into creating these items to be able to showcase their culture.
Yeah, of course.
And that's important.
I was so grateful to experience such an important and sacred place here in the museum. And as we continued through the museum, Christian shared how he recently led missions for the Blue Shield to rescue artifacts threatened by war in northern and western Cameroon. Many of these artifacts here are a result of that, and he has even more in storage.
Here in this, that is our main exhibition room. As you have seen, there's a lot of masks, there's a lot of statues, there's a lot of musical instruments. So it's very important to be reconnected
with
our ancestors. That is why we call it the Black Etude Museums. It's a kind of ideology, philosophy, to spread the powerful spirit of African people.
Yeah, when I hear the name Blackitude, it speaks to me. I feel like, oh, I will be represented here when I come check out the exhibit. And I'm seeing a few pieces. I would love to, learn more. Like, can you explain this piece right here?
Yeah, I will start with this piece, the chair of the king. And, that is the cowries.
Okay.
That is a specific piece of cowries. It's long time ago we used it as money. Yes. So that means that to have this kind of chair in cowries, means that the king is very rich. He's a rich man.
Okay.
So to be the king, you will be rich. And because you have to show by your own example to let people know that you have to work very hard to be at the head of the village, to the head of the kingdom. So that is a specific chair, and no one can sit in this chair than the king. If even you are the son of the king, you cannot sit here before be enthronized as a king.
Oh, this represents true royalty.
Yeah. Here is a specific mask. We call it kungang. Kungang because why? Why you call it kungang? You know that our society is really organized.
Okay.
The organization of the state that we have today is the same that we have in the kingdom. At the head, we have the king, and we have the different council, the council of 9, the council of 7. And the kungang is the part of council of 9. And that is the real hair.
This is real hair?
Yeah, that is the real hair.
And how old is this?
That is more than 150.
150 years old?
Yeah, wow. That is more than 150 years old. That is a very old African society, Cameroonian society, call it kungang.
Okay.
That's a real hair. And if your father was in this society, when your father will pass, she will give the hand to his son.
Okay.
The son can replace him in this society. So that is the different side. You will see that here we have a kind of tie there.
Can I touch it?
Yeah, you can touch. You have the tie there. So that is one, and the second, the third, the fourth. So that is a different generation.
Wow.
Of member of this society.
Okay.
This kungang is most powerful. Long time ago, when you are in this society, they don't allow the pregnant woman to see when the kungang dance. Because it's a kind of vibration.
Right.
Which is going out, who can affect the baby.
Okay.
So it's not possible to the pregnant woman to be close to the kungang people when they dance.
Nice.
And most of the time when you are not authorized to take the pictures, when you take the pictures, you will be black.
Next, Christian showed me some ancient musical instruments, and guess what I saw? Remember the log drum I learned to play before Joyce's jam session performance? Here's an ancient one. Wow. Growing up in Chicago, my mom often took my late sister and I to the DeSable Museum because she wanted us to know our African-American history. But now, I visited 3 very different museums in West Africa. The W.E.B. Du Bois Museum in Ghana displayed how one of my civil rights heroes lived out his last days fulfilling his purpose. The African Renaissance Monument Museum in Senegal was a hopeful inspiration for the future of the African diaspora. And the Blackitude Museum connects me to my possible African ancestry and brings everything full circle. I felt a stronger connection to my own history by the moment. Next, I reconnect with Techi for 4 a.m. cooking duty. Every Sunday, Techi and her loyal friends serve her delicious bouillon at a pop-up for her community.
Chita, ça va?
Ça va.
How you doing?
I'm cooking.
What inspired you to start cooking and serving your community?
I want to promote my culture. when we see, we talk about bouillon. Bouillon is other pepper soup in local language for other Cameroonians. We know that this is what we eat everywhere in Cameroon.
Okay.
Even we get, there is bouillon, bouillon. So I want to promote it, how to do it well, how to give it a value. Yes, so I do it like that.
As a fellow content creator, I was inspired by Techi's drive, and I could totally relate. We prepared our bouillon until the sun came up. I'm not going to lie, but I was motivated by her cause. Although bouillon is of Haitian origin, it has a special place in this community.
That's a nice piece of goat right there.
We taste it.
One
we
happy
like it.
customer.
Yeah.
Okay, need some silverware?
Yeah.
This is the exciting part for you, huh?
Yeah.
That's cool. It's always good to have,
Yeah.
put a smile on people's faces.
Techi's bouillon smelled delicious, but it was also piping hot, so I had to be careful not to spill any. It was fulfilling seeing people appreciate all of our hard work, and I really enjoyed serving the community. Now it was time for me to enjoy Techi's bouillon.
Want to taste?
Yeah.
Okay.
What we say in America, we say chow time.
Yes. We put the soup.
Okay. So this is, smell, right? Ooh, this smells like it's gonna be delicious.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's
So you can
beautiful.
sit there.
So we sit over here?
Yes, yep. You can take
Okay.
a place here. Okay. Put there.
All right.
Back in the States, bouillon is just a dry little cube or powder that gets added to water to make a broth. But here, bouillon is a hearty stew with meat and herbs, and I'll never forget how sustaining bouillon can really be. It reminded me of oxtail soup. Wanji was so right. It's delicious. There's something spiritual about helping others. And as I watched the ladies of Bouillon de Techi dance, I was grateful Techi allowed me to be a part of her experience. It's impossible to ignore how special these moments are. And at times like this, I just want to live in the moment and enjoy the positive vibrations I'm feeling here in Cameroon. Next, we travel northeast from Yaoundé to Nkonsamba. Located on the Cameroon line of volcanic terrain, northeast of Mount Cameroon, Nkonsamba has a population of a little over 100,000, which mostly includes migrants from the Balimake tribe. We saw some of their culture in the Blackitude Museum. The laid-back mountain village is also close to one of the most amazing natural wonders on the continent, the Ecom de Com waterfalls, also known as the Chutes. The Chutes is plural in French for waterfalls, so actually, Ecom de Com waterfalls are twin falls, one female and one male, which are split by a rock formation on top of the waterfall. But if you want to see the Chutes at Ecom and Com, it's best to visit during the rainy season. Otherwise, you may only see one waterfall because the other may be dried up. It's a mesmerizing sight to see. It was so easy for me to see why the film producers chose to feature it in the 1982 film Grace Stoke, Legend of Tarzan. I've visited taller waterfalls in my travels, but Ecom and Com is about 250 feet tall, taller than Niagara Falls. What truly impressed me about Ecom and Com is how powerful and raw it is, yet the deep lush jungle surrounding it is virtually unspoiled. I was also impressed by how close you can get to the top edge of the waterfalls, and how the fallen trees created a surface to stand above the river. The entire experience was like walking into someone's backyard. Don't fall into the waterfalls. I don't take for granted being surrounded by this natural beauty here in Cameroon. It's an experience I'll never forget. Next, we're off to Sembe Beach near Mount Cameroon, where I'll check out surfing conditions and try to catch a wave, and learn the distinction between chiefdoms and kingdoms as we connect with the local chief and queen who are rescuing families from their war-torn village. We'll explore Cameroon's ancient history as I learn to excavate artifacts with an archaeologist from the University of Yaoundé, and I'll complete my amazing Discovering West Africa adventure with you as I finally get some unexpected news about my DNA ancestry.